What if I told you that you could own a piece of the floor from the Michael Jordan Bulls-led Dynasty? What's up, guys? It's Frank from Trove, and welcome back to the Journey to Collectible, where we discuss the incredible stories behind some of the most important items in the sports collectible space. In the industry, we continue to see an increased demand for the most critically important items tied to the greatest athletes of all time. And when we're looking at basketball, there is nobody more collectible than Michael Jordan. On the Collectible platform, they have a super unique piece. It is the hardwood floor from right in front of the Chicago Bulls' bench from their second three-peat. So for today's Journey to Collectible episode, I want to tell the story behind what this piece has been through and why it's so historically significant. So let's start by going over the specifics of this item. So you could own the two pieces of 4x8 hardwood flooring from right in front of the Chicago Bulls' home bench at the United Center from 1995 to 1998. So this bench flooring was used from the start of the 1995-1996 season, Jordan's first full season coming back from playing baseball, all the way up until Jordan's last home game as a Chicago Bull, which was Game 5 of the 1998 NBA Finals. And the reason why the hardwood from right in front of the bench is so desirable is because how much time the team and Michael Jordan spent standing on it. This is where Phil Jackson did his coaching from, so this is quite literally the foundation of the Chicago Bulls' second three-peat. Now, let me give you some historical context on this item. Jordan won the NBA Finals from 91 to 93. It was his first three-peat, but suddenly on October 6, 1993, Michael Jordan retired from the game of basketball, which was only a few months after his father tragically passed away. And this was an insane moment because literally the greatest basketball player of all time was leaving the sport in his prime, coming off of 3 championships to go play minor league baseball. The Bulls tried to do whatever they could without Mike. In the 93-94 season, the Bulls ended up losing in the second round of the postseason to the New York Knicks. And in the 1994-1995 season, the team was doing even worse. At one point in March, the team was 31-31. But on March 18th, 1995, Michael Jordan had an iconic fax that only had 2 words saying, "I'm back." But even with Mike back in the lineup for the 1995 NBA postseason, the Bulls still lost in the second round of the playoffs to the Orlando Magic, who were led by Penny and Shaq. But this is really when the story of this incredible piece of hardwood floor really begins. So the 95-96 season was the first year that the bench floor was used, and this was the greatest season by any team in NBA history. In MJ's first full season back, the Bulls went 72-10, which was then an NBA record for the most amount of wins in NBA history. And on top of that, they ended up winning the championship, Mike's 4th total. And the most special part about this isn't the fact that they were able to defeat the Supersonics in Game 6 at the United Center, where they were able to celebrate on this bench floor. But what made this moment even more special was the fact that this Game 6 took place on Father's Day, where MJ was really able to honor his father, who passed away a few years prior. Next, in the 1996-1997 season, the Chicago Bulls repeated as champions. They defeated the Utah Jazz in the finals, and the most iconic moment from that season that I think really shows what makes this bench floor so special is the fact that sitting on the bench, you have Michael Jordan, Steve Kerr, final play of the game. What are they going to draw up? Everybody thinks it's going to Mike, but Mike knows that he's going to get double teamed, so he tells Steve Kerr on the bench, be ready. Steve Kerr on that final play hits the game-winning shot from the free throw line. The Bulls repeat as champions, and Michael Jordan was able to celebrate at the United Center to win his 5th championship. What makes this piece seem so crazy to me is the fact that where this whole discussion was taking place on the bench, this is where this bench floor is from, and I think it's so special to be able to have an item that is directly related to this incredible moment in sports history. So after the first 2 championships of the second three-peat that were won at the United Center, we have the 1997-1998 season, which is otherwise known as The Last Dance. If you've watched The Last Dance documentary, you know about all the drama that went down that season between Jerry Krause, Phil Jackson, Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, all that crazy stuff that happened, and I just think about this hardwood floor from the bench and thinking about all the memories it went through. In Jordan's last season playing for the Bulls, they were able to win the 1998 NBA Finals against the Jazz again in 6 games. This time they won Game 6 at Utah, where Jordan hit the iconic last shot. So after discussing what Michael Jordan and that team went through for those 3 seasons to win the second three-peat, for Michael Jordan to solidify himself at the time as the clear-cut best basketball player that's ever played on the planet, it really makes this bench floor a Naismith Hall of Fame level piece. In December 2021, we saw a Michael Jordan rookie debut ticket sell for over $260,000. And the argument made by ticket collectors is the fact that it's a super scarce collectible directly tied to an important moment in Michael Jordan's career. But when I look at this Bulls Dynasty bench floor, it's far more appealing to me. It's not a piece of paper that got you into Michael Jordan's first game. It's the actual court that Michael Jordan played on for 3 seasons. And in my eyes, it's the 3 most important seasons of his entire career. This truly is a one-of-one item, and it's really important to note that Upper Deck has used a large portion of this court inside of their own basketball cards, and on top of that, it's been used for other promotional uses. So the ability to find 2 4x8 panels, especially from a critically important place like right in front of the Chicago Bulls' bench, is never going to come on the market again. In March 2021, we saw another fractional company raise an IPO with a market cap of $800,000 for 4 panels from Kobe Bryant's final farewell game where he scored 60 points. Now, obviously, this was from the number 8 on his panel. It was autographed by him. Very important piece. But at the exact same time, that was only used for 1 game, whereas with this Bulls piece, it was used for 3 entire seasons where the Bulls won 3 straight championships. The 1986 Fleer Jordan card has received a lot of publicity in the press over the last few years because of how much it's grown, but I think the more that the collectibles market matures and the more people hear the stories behind incredible pieces of memorabilia outside of just cards, and I think at that point we're going to see a lot more attention and a lot of different verticals in the collectible space, which is really exciting to me. I now find myself rewatching the Bulls starting lineup introduction, hearing the whole crowd go nuts for Jordan walking out on the floor and understating that the pieces of floor that he's stepping on when he's walking onto the court, the same court that he won 3 straight championships on, you can own a direct piece of that. How that makes me feel excited, I feel like that's a great gauge in terms of what's going to have long-term collectability. And luckily, through fractional ownership in the collectible platform, you have the ability to directly buy shares of this incredible item. When we take into account the historical significance of that Bulls second three-peat and what they accomplished at that United Center court from 1995 to 1998, plus on top of that, understanding just how rare an item like this is, and you never see them be made publicly available, I believe that this is a really cool opportunity in general to get a piece of one of the greatest items in Chicago Bulls history. So that wraps up today's episode. If you have not downloaded the Collectable app yet, we highly recommend you do so. This is where you're going to be able to check out all of these incredible items, and we will be back later this month to tell you some more really cool stories.